Minutes ago, the biggest VR story this week was the Quest 3S. More leaks have come out, plus the Quest 3 is outselling the Valve Index. But then news, Star Wars Outlaws has a VR mod you can get right now.
Right now.
Holy smokes, we're going to be talking about that. You can skip to whatever you want with the time codes down below. Plus, Arkham Shadow Combat, we got previews. It looks pretty good.
It does. We're dancing. We're dancing together.
We're dancing like a bat. Hitman 3 is releasing in like 3 days' time at time of recording, which is mind-blowing.
Oh, great. I'll get that now. I'll pre-order it.
Yep, and you've been playing System Shock. It's also got a VR mod. It came out this week, and it's good.
It's great. It works. That's enough for me.
It has shocked my system. Let's get straight into it.
Okay, here we go.
Star Wars Outlaws. This is by a pretty reputable VR modder. I'm not familiar with him, but what's the deal? What's his deal?
This is Luke Ross. Luke Ross mod. His mods are called the Real VR mods, and he's most famous for his GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption mods that were taken down a couple of years ago.
Right, now, I know this little bit of the story. So, if you go to his Patreon, you can get access to all of his mods, but GTA 5 is no longer one of them.
No, that's correct.
Because, he got a cease and desist notice.
That's right. But the best part about Luke Ross's mods is that they work for games that traditionally don't have any VR support. So he's had Ubisoft games working like Watch Dogs. He's had Mafia, the Mafia 1 remake that came out a couple of years ago. But most recently, Star Wars Outlaws came out in the last week, and he already has a VR mod for it that actually launched today.
New skills to learn, new comrades to defend, new worlds to discover. The galaxy is waiting.
Is this, like, as far as VR modding goes, to do it for Star Wars Outlaws, like, how mind-blowing is this mod?
This is the fastest that a big AAA game has gotten a VR mod. I've seen, at least.
Yeah, I've got a feeling he has been studying up on every one of that publisher's games, so he understands how they do games, so he can get this mod going. Because Star Wars Outlaws is getting decent reviews. It's not blowing anyone's socks off, but it's blowing up right now. Like, people are playing it.
Yeah. So I got it through Ubisoft's early access program using Ubisoft Plus.
Yep.
So I paid $27 Australian, and I played the game 3 days early, and I've been playing it ever since. And I've actually been really enjoying it. And the entire time, all I've been thinking is, I wish I could play this in VR.
No.
Yeah.
And you will be able to. So you're going to be going home after this.
That's right.
You'll be modding the game. Hopefully you'll be sending me some vision and you're watching it right now.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I think I'll be having too much fun to send you literally anything. So.
But we've read a few reviews, quick reviews on Discord. This has not been up for long, but people have been saying it's working. It's there.
I saw someone say that they had it working on the Quest 3. They just ran it once in flat screen and then they booted up the mod. I haven't actually seen the interface for the mod, so I don't know how to launch it properly yet. But what I'm assuming is it's pretty much plug and play. It's pretty incredible, but it uses a system called alternate eye rendering, which is effective for presenting stereoscopic 3D, but it has this flickering effect just based on how it works.
Okay, so my understanding of this is the basic idea is it's rendering each eye individually by physically moving the camera so quickly between each eye and then presenting each eye to you. So it's not the best way to do VR, but it makes you able to do VR with games that just are not compatible with VR normally.
That's right. If you imagine a mime presenting one frame and then another frame and then that next frame and then the next frame, you pretty much get exactly what alternate eye rendering is. I saw last week someone isolated in the system files for Outlaws. They had seen a little value that said stereoscopic 3D equals 0.
Oh, so if that was equals 1, maybe you could actually turn this into a native VR game.
Yes, it would be running in native stereo.
So this is a 6DoF mod.
Moff is on Star Wars.
Yeah. So this is a 6DoF mod, which means you can look around in virtual reality, but it is only controller based. There's no hand tracking or anything.
That's right.
Like
it's all gamepad. Yeah. And VR looking. I'm actually not sure if there's a first person mode for this yet, but hopefully there is. I would like that.
I mean, if he's done this so quickly, it's only a matter of time. If you would like the mod for yourself, obviously you need Star Wars Outlaws, but then you can go to the Flat to VR Discord. It's the latest announcement, or you can Google Luke Ross?
Luke Ross.
Luke Ross's Patreon, and you get all the details there. Sign up to the Patreon. It's $10 US, and you get access to all of his mods, and this is the latest one from him. If you want a more relaxing time, then just Google Bob Ross.
Yes, that would not be a happy accident.
If you've played Star Wars Outlaws VR already, or you're excited to play it, please let us know in the comments below. We want to hear what your thoughts are.
I do. I want to disagree with them personally. That's just me.
Yeah, Beardy's really vindictive in the comments, so
right.
get into it.
Exactly. Do it.
While we're on the topic of games, there are a few big games coming out. Hitman 3 got a release date, and it's this week. It's coming out on Thursday, so it might, by the time you watch this video, it's already out.
I feel like that's a pretty short turnaround from their original trailer. It's been like a couple of months, like 2 months at this point?
Yeah, it's very quick. I think there's a reason for that, and it's because the Quest 3S is coming out just a few weeks later, so they want to get ahead of Alien Rogue Incursion, Batman Arkham Shadow.
Sure.
The other one that's really big. But there's some Behemoth. Oh
Behemoth,
my God.
yep, totally. But none of it is as big as banana slipping VR.
Yeah, that's right. Hitman 3 offers banana physics, and we're all for it. Right. So that's coming out Thursday. And then during Gamescom, a lot of content creators got to get hands-on with Arkham Shadow, and we got our first look at combat properly. And it's probably best case scenario. This looks pretty good.
Yep. The first thing I picked up on was the fact that you could lunge towards an enemy to start the combat, and now that provides context for what they were talking about in that interview.
So the gameplay that we've seen the grapple gun use, and it looks like it's not shying away from throwing you around as far as grappling up to things or launching towards enemies.
Yep.
And then we saw a lot of combat. You can grab utilities off and throw them at enemies. You can grab your batarang and throw it at enemies. But when you engage in combat, like you said, you're lunging towards people, and then you've got cues for targets, where to hit, or how to defend yourself. And it looks like it is that Arkham style combat.
Yeah, it looks like they're really translating it super well. Like, I saw that you had the opportunity to choose between dodging and blocking, and that is definitely what you do in the Arkham games originally.
Yeah, the feature I'm most excited about is tactical cape use. So if you reach down and grab with your hand and then launch up, you're not throwing a punch, you're whooshing your cape at the enemy, and it stuns them for some reason.
It's like you're being like sneaky or stealthy like a vampire, right? Like you do these ones. It's
I thought you were dazzling the enemy. They're like, oh my God, that's fabulous. I can't believe you did that.
Seeing the kinds of people that are in Gotham, I believe that is actually a feature. So there you go.
Yeah, so everybody that's had first looks so far have been very positive about it, but it needs to be said, a lot of them were flown to the event to try the game or given exclusive access. So who knows if it's really good or they're just saying that.
They might just be enthusiastic.
Exactly, but we saw a lot of VR content creators, but also Arkham content creators, people that don't normally play VR. And something that came up was that the nausea for them wasn't there, whether or not it's because they're good at VR or this game is doing something to help fight that, because you're doing a lot of launching and flying around.
As someone who has never had any experience with VR prior to this, I am in the same boat as a lot of you. I didn't feel queasy, sick to my stomach, nothing the entire time while playing. It wasn't just me though, because Clown Puncher told me that he sometimes gets motion sick in VR, but that wasn't a problem at all for him while playing through the demo, and the cameraman even told me that was most people's reaction to this game. They just don't tend to get motion sick while playing Batman Arkham Shadow.
I think one of the biggest causes of motion sickness is moving your horizon, and this is something that it's never doing that as far as I'm concerned. Even if you are jumping off something, it's really keeping you leveled the entire time. They mentioned Beat Saber as well as a reference for the combat, but Beat Saber is also a very general use game. It's also something that hits a wider market. And it's cool that they've got people that don't play VR that are coming to see this game, because you get to have that perspective on what those people will think. And that's important to us, I guess, as VR enthusiasts.
So signs are looking good. I know a lot of people were negative on this game when it was first announced, but the graphics look fantastic for a Quest 3 exclusive. People who are new to VR will have the choice to buy a Quest 3S soon. We're going to talk about that shortly. And this game launches in like a month's time. It's coming out in October. So the signs are looking really good that this game's going to be huge.
That means that you have time to not only subscribe and comment to this podcast, but maybe even sponsor it so I can afford to buy a headset to play this game.
Yeah, so what do you think about that combat? Are you feeling a lot more positive about Batman Arkham now? Because I'm kind of pumped for this game now. I'm actually excited to play it.
That's awesome. He's not going to buy the game. He doesn't play any of these.
No, I don't buy games. Another game you've been playing is System Shock, which is a traditional 2D game that came out this year, but it's got a VR mod that is incredible, and I'm assuming you're playing that on Quest 2 with Steam VR?
I am. That is what I'm playing.
Well, that is the majority of people, because the Steam survey just came out, and Quest 2 is still at #1 position, but in a twist that we've been waiting for months, Quest 3 finally overtook the Valve Index for the second most used headset in VR.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, get moving, Valve. I want your competitor to the Quest in the next 18 months or 7 years if you choose to. Please.
Please. The Deckard is a real thing.
Yeah.
It is being developed. Apparently there is a program, a game of some kind that they're developing to show off the Deckard.
Yep.
So it is coming, but for now, Meta rules the roost. So here are the numbers. Oculus Quest 2 is 38.3%. It's dropped about 1.3% down a little bit in market share. Meta Quest 3 is now 17.09. It's gone up about 1.5%.
Okay.
And the Valve Index has gone down about 0.84% to 15.26. So the last time we spoke, Quest 3 was like half of a quarter of a point behind the Valve Index. And in the last month, the Quest 3 has finally overtaken the Valve. It's the second most used headset on all of Steam.
I'm so glad that the viewers can see all the graphs that are associated with these numbers because I'm just seeing a bunch of numbers. I don't know what's going on. I'm guessing that this is good for Meta because now they have two of those top 3 spots, right?
Yeah, look, it says a lot about how many Quest 3s have sold because we've said this last time. Every Valve Index user is on Steam VR. Only a fraction of the Quest 3 users are on Steam VR.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, that just means that a ridiculous amount of Quest 3s have sold in the last year.
Yeah. I kind of want like a broader scale to measure all these on. I want like an OpenXR graph or whatever that tells me everyone's VR usage and what they're using it for.
Yep. Well, I got one little piece of interesting data right at the bottom of this graph.
Yep.
So, a new VR headset that got released was the big screen, we're kind of cool goggles. What's it called? Big screen something?
No, that's what it's called
okay.
actually. That's what they.
Oh, it's the big screen Beyond. That's what
Beyond,
it's
of course. It's not the Horizon. It's
called.
Beyond.
It's on the survey right now. It's got 0.36% of the market share, up 0.01%. So it's very marginally grown. Right below that, so that's 0.36. At 0.35% is the Sony PSVR 2.
Interesting. Just after their sale that they had.
Yeah, so literally in the last month, it's gone on sale for about 3 weeks. It was dirt cheap to buy, and their PC adapter has become available. And in that time, it shot up the list. It's just behind Big Screen Beyond, which has been marketing their headset for months and months at this point.
Yep. So like I don't know, like the real minority use case for the PSVR 2 is higher than something that's dedicated for this platform, essentially. That's it's really interesting.
It's a really strong case for how good that headset is and how confusing Sony's marketing strategy is for this headset.
Yeah, totally. Because it's like it'll sell. Please look, this to me, just I want them to open up VR development on their PC platform. They're already pushing all their exclusives on Epic Games or whatever they're pushing it on. Yep. So like, give me some PSVR games on PC. It's like you've given me this adapter, do something with it.
Yeah, we got some big games that were Sony exclusives coming to PC.
Yep.
Why can't we have some VR games doing the same?
Because it's expensive. That's why.
Here's
my theory. You can cut this in whenever the fuck though, right?
Okay.
The Deckard, right, which is the rumored prototype name of Valve's competing headset to the Quest 2 and probably now the 3 now that it's taken so long. I've been keeping an eye on what they've been doing with the Steam Deck. I feel like the word deck and the word, like the abbreviation AR, is in the word Deckard, but I don't know what the D stands for. So if we can just figure out what the D is in Deckard, we'll kind of get a good profile of what the Deckard's going to be, right? Right?
Okay, you think it's AR, but don't you think it's just deck hard? Like it's the amped up version of the deck?
I guess, but like you would need like an apostrophe before the A. I feel like you're convoluting what is obviously a very simple conclusion that I've drawn from this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to leave his theory in the podcast, and you're going to let us know in the comments below whether or not that should have been cut out.
You know the right answer. I know you do.
Okay, so the top 2 headsets are Meta Quest headsets.
Yep.
But in maybe 6 months' time, it might be the top 3 headsets.
Yeah.
Because the FCCC, the FCCC, is that how many C's does this organization have?
Lots of C's.
The FCC, there's only 2 C's.
2 C's, okay.
All right, okay. They just approved certification for the Quest 3S. So do you know what the FCC does?
It approves headsets.
What are you, an idiot? No, they deal with bandwidth for like frequencies being emitted by devices, that kind of thing.
Oh, like
radio
like
frequencies.
All the 5G frequencies.
Yes, but this is 6E. So the latest confirmation is the Quest 3S has been approved to use 6E Wi-Fi. That's the type of Wi-Fi that's in the Quest 3. It allows you to have super high quality, low latency connection to your PC. That's the reason it has the 6E.
Cool.
This is a sign that the Quest 3S is going to be available this September. So September 25 is Meta's big Meta Connect event.
Yep.
And that's where they showcase all of the things that they're doing in VR.
Yep.
And it looks like all the signs are there that this device is going to be on sale either that day or very soon after.
Well, they've been teasing, and there's been leaks, and there's been guesses, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. There was a headset photo a couple of weeks ago that we looked at. So yeah, give me. I want there to be an announcement where they say that it's already out. You can pre-order right now.
Yeah.
If you follow this link.
All right, Quest 3, it is shipping on August 10th. You can order it today.
They've kind of gone the Valve method of marketing where they have lots of leaks and lots of sneak peeks and photos, but Meta actually hasn't said much about what the 3S is. It's just what's been leaked. And here are the facts. It's probably coming out in September. It's going to be between $300 and $400, and it's going to be essentially the Quest 3. It's going to have the same chip. It's going to have color pass-through, but it's going to have the Fresnel lenses of the Quest 2. So like for a pretty good price, it's a pretty good headset.
Yeah, that'll be good on my bad eyes. It's coming with controllers though, right? Right?
Ooh, yeah, like we said last week, it might not come with controllers in order to get prices down. I'm reading this from AndroidAuthority.com. It might ship it without controllers as a cost-cutting measure, although this is less likely. The article then concludes by saying, we think there will be controllers in the box, but they may not be the Quest 3 controllers, which is very concerning because we just found out this week. I always assumed you could buy Quest 2 controllers and connect them to your Quest 3.
That's right, that's right.
But that's not the case. You can't do that.
No, someone told us when we were wrong in the comments, which thankfully told us that we can't do what I thought I was going to be able to do with the Quest 3S.
Yeah, so we were looking forward to buying a Quest 3S cheap and using our old Quest 2 controllers. That's not the case. So if it doesn't come with controllers, I don't know. Because the Quest Pro controllers, I think, are $200.
Last week, you talked about Steam VR being able to use hand tracking.
Yeah.
And we saw a guy that was like picking up Blade and Sorcery things using that. I'm guessing using the hand tracking on the Quest. Does that mean I can buy a Quest 3S, use it with Steam Link, and not need controllers to play my games?
You absolutely can do that. Wow, that is totally a thing.
Yeah, interesting.
I was imagining if they want to keep prices down, maybe they release a Quest 3S that's bundled with an Xbox controller, and that's your absolute base level headset.
Yeah, but then you're not going to be able to play like Arkham or Hitman or Alien using that. So what the fuck's it for?
I don't know, but if they wanted the dirt cheapest headset, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
I think it will come with a controller. I can't imagine. Can you imagine them doing this?
Well, if this was releasing in 2 years when AR has mixed reality has taken off like way more, I could totally imagine them doing it.
It's me from the future here editing the video, and if you look at the FCC filing, they do list a controller, but it's codenamed Rubby, which means it's not the Quest 3 controller or the Quest 2 or Pro controller, it's something else. Now, the name Rubby implies that maybe if you wanted to keep costs down, you'd get rid of all the moving parts from the controller, which would include the joystick. So maybe it's a touchpad for the thumb controller, which where they get the name Rubby from. Or it's just yellow and looks like a duck. We don't know. But what we do know is usually they don't file these FCC approvals until days before a Meta device launches. So yeah, it's probably coming at the end of the month. That's everything I have to talk about this week in virtual reality. Do you have anything to talk about?
I don't have anything at all.
All right, if you have anything to talk about, please leave a comment down below or hit subscribe. Both of those things help.
Yeah. Commenting? Does we want them to comment? Comment, please. No one comments on these videos.
We're really working on our calls to action, and I think we need more work on that. Thank you and goodbye.
Comment on how we should do our calls to action. Come on, you can help us out, please.